Hello, everybody. This is Rob. Marie and I will be live here very shortly. Just wanted to come on and let you know that we are, in fact, here. And as you know, we go live at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you don't mind, please share this podcast and our social media platforms with our fellow network marketers all across the world so that they too can have access to this wonderful information. We'll be with you guys shortly. We have a great subject today. We hope that you'll join us and give us a thumbs up if you like the content you hear. See you in a bit.
Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Cootie.
Hello, Miss Marie. How are you today?
Good morning, Rob. I am fantastic. It is the 1st of October. Can you believe it?
Yes. And one way I can, another way I can't. You know what? So much has happened from day to day, week to week, that your senses are overwhelmed, not only by what is going on in your personal life, with the mask and the riots and all that other crap, that you just go from one major episode to another. And in addition, you're trying to do your normal life and you look up and a month is gone. So yes, in that aspect, I can believe today's October 1st.
Well, I'm excited because to me it's really the beginning of fall, and we have a tradition here at my house where we try to turn off climate control mid-September and see how far into October we can get before we have to turn on the heat.
Well,
and I think we've got some unseasonably warm weather coming, because like the following week they're predicting highs around 80 here.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm excited. We're going to be saving on some energy bills here for a little bit.
You know what? I would have not thought in Utah that you guys would be getting warmer weather, but there it is. You heard it from her. I don't know what to say to that, Miss Marie. I've been there, and it seems like you guys have the perfect weather every day, which is basically an Indian summer type setup, especially when you get up in the mountains. It's like Indian summer all the time. So, and I loved how the roads, I guess they call them major roads, some of y'all's arteries is probably the best way to put it, go up through the mountains along the, not at the top, but along sometimes the baseline. But I mean, you're not on the floor of the valley. You're up in the mountain. It's a beautiful drive.
Oh, yeah. The drive between Salt Lake City and Park City on I-80, it is a fantastic drive.
It is. It's
very scenic, especially now because we've got a lot of colors going on here too. So.
Yeah. We rolled down we opened up the sunroof, had all the windows down, and took off about 6 p.m. After eating, just to take in the beauty and the wonderful Indian summer atmosphere. And then, of course, the stars came out, the further you get away from the city.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really a very surreal environment. And as you can tell, I enjoyed it, and I remember it very vividly. You don't forget something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty spectacular. I cannot complain. I have to admit, when Joe and I moved here in 2002, we moved here on the 3 to 5 year plan, and we're currently on iteration 4 of that plan.
I would venture to say that you'll probably be doing a reiteration every 3 to 4 years.
Well, so far nobody's offered us a better place to live, so we'll stay put. This is pretty awesome.
I would say that it'd probably be a pretty smart thing to hold on to what you got. Sometimes in the pursuit of quote unquote happiness, we make big boo-boos.
That can happen. That's for sure.
Yes, it can happen to all of us, right? All right. With that being said, guys, today is a great subject. Let me bring it up for all of you on the podcast. Today is episode number 53. 53. And the subject matter for today's podcast is the duplication of good and evil. Which one are you promoting in your business? If we were to ask you that straight up, could you give us the answer? If not, you need to hear this episode. If you're not sure which one you're endorsing and starting, you need to listen to this episode, because we're going to address pretty much all things that are good and evil in the duplication process. And believe me, you do not want to miss this episode, because Miss Marie, this is the essence of your business, not the essence of the business. The essence of the business is identifying and working with leaders. We've talked about that. We're talking about the essence of your business. Your personal organization starts and stops with duplication. You, Miss Marie, you do not have a business if you do not have duplication. You can have 500 people in it, but if there's no duplication, guess what it was? It was a recruiting war, and you were a great recruiter, and you helped your downline to recruit. In other words, you have 500 people on by the sweat of your own brow, not because of duplication. Right?
Exactly. You can put in all the effort and you can bring people into your organization, but if they are not going to duplicate the consistent, correct business building activities that you should be doing as well, your business just is not going to be as successful as you want. So this is a key component to where a lot of people stumble, if not fail, in their network marketing business.
Absolutely. With that being said, let's get our famous what do we do? There it is, our famous gong, which starts our show. There we go. That being said, that was a perfect segue into the subject matter with Miss Marie so eloquently previewing or setting up this subject. And we are going to tap into that wonderful intro and run with it, because you have to realize, guys, that without duplication, you do not have a business. You are nothing more than in a recruiting battle with all of your peers. And you're Miss Marie, I know somebody that made $1 million a year. I kid you not. I've seen her checks and consistent, not just, a few. I mean, there is no doubt that she was one of the top earners of not only one company, but two that I'm aware of. And one of them that she was the last one that she was with, and she offered me multi-thousands to join her. And as I told you, that's what some of the big time recruiters, business builders do. They have the money. And so what they want to do is they want to surround themselves with what? Other business builders. Is that duplicatable? No. Okay. But it's a courtesy. It's not illegal. It's not unethical. What they're doing is they're buying your services, your knowledge, your time, your experience. Okay. And they know that you know how to make the business go. They pretty much hire you and say, okay, do your thing. If you need anything, let me know. But other than that, I'll see you later. And that's what you do. Okay. And that is part of the business, whether we like it or not. But that's more of an advanced thing. We don't need to get into that, because the true business building process is what you and I talk about, the 5 simple steps. And it's not like Rob, if he was hired, wouldn't use the 5 simple steps. Well, sure I would. I'd use the 5 simple steps to build my own business. What she's buying is my knowledge, my time, my experience, etc. All right. So the point is that Miss Marie, she was a recruiting machine, and she was selling contacts of all things. And I don't know if you know this, but contacts and coffee are two of the most purchased things in the world, not just United States, but in the world. And so because every other product in network marketing has been tried, they try to tap into, which makes sense. If you and I were to go down a list and say what products are the biggest sellers around the world, let's make that a part of our business. Well, guess what? Those two would jump out at you. Now, whether you can make them work or not is another matter. So I understand why the company did, but all they did was sell contacts. So what does that tell you, Miss Marie? You know what it was? Look, without getting into the subject matter, in this situation, it's all about recruiting, because Miss Marie, you have one product, and what does this one product do? And they had a binary. So what does that tell you right off the bat? As a professional business builder, when I evaluate something like that, I'm automatically saying to myself, there is no money here. Even though if you look at the comp plan, it kind of fool you into thinking, yes, there was. Why do you say that, Rob? Because when you combine one product, such as a contact, which is a thin profit margin, meaning the customer has about multiples of those, and you combine it with a binary, that tells you right off the bat that the comp plan and the whole system is set up to make the company rich, the owners rich, and guess what? The top people rich. Miss Marie, does that mean that Rob can make as much money as her? No, in this scenario. Did I join her when she offered me these multi-thousands upon thousands and thousands? No. Why? Because I have ethics. I'm not going to look people in the eye knowing they can't do what we're doing because the system is stacked against them. And that's the pure definition of unethical behavior, because I would have done something that I knew was wrong. And what does that say about my character and my morals? It would say that either I don't have them or I'm ignoring them. And it's all about the money, right?
Well, and let me clarify there, just so people don't misunderstand what you just said.
Okay.
Your statement that you wouldn't do it because it wasn't ethical for you is because of the way we tend to build our businesses, and that's going out and doing the 5 simple steps and using that music to their ears message that we use that basically says, hey, I found this opportunity to build a business, create an income. We're leveraging the network marketing industry in order to build this wealth cycle is basically what we're going through. You couldn't deliver that message truthfully because you recognize the limitations of the combination of their product and compensation plan. So that's where the ethical issue came in for you. It wasn't the fact that this woman had offered you thousands of dollars to join her organization. That's not a problem. It's almost like buying a franchise or buying consulting services to build your network marketing business. That doesn't occur very often in the industry. It is rare because it is the rare person that can afford to go out and offer the true business builders enough money to join their organization, first of all. And then second of all, there aren't as many big business builders out there anymore that are quote unquote for sale. That would even be available to offer that sort of position too.
Right.
But, contracting that kind of service is not where the ethical situation came in. It was the fact that you could not, with integrity, present your music to the ears message to people you're prospecting.
There it is. Thank you for the clarification. That was spot on. You did a wonderful job. And thank you for stepping in and clarifying that. Because sometimes I know what I'm saying, but that doesn't mean it came out the right way. So thank you.
And I knew what you were saying too, but again, we have, and especially you, Rob, have such a depth of experience that sometimes we can brush over and make a statement that people that are newer to the industry or just getting engaged or been around for a little while don't quite catch the permutations that are involved with that statement.
Yeah,
so
I agree. And once again, thank you for that clarification. She did a wonderful job. I wish we could all give her a hand if we were in front of an audience and say, hey, let's give her a hand. That was a great clarification. And that's the reason why when we do live events, she will always be there to make sure, let me step in here a minute. And so anyway, yes, she is absolutely right. That is correct. And Miss Marie, she was a great recruiter. That's what it boiled down to. She was putting in 20 hours a day to maintain that $1 million a year lifestyle. And once again, moving contacts is hard. And there had to be a great money savings, and the auto ship were 2 of your biggest sellers. I mean, think about it. It's the only thing you could sell because you can't sell the quality of it because the people don't have them in front of them and haven't worn them. You know what I'm saying? And the quality of vision and the quality of comfort is an objective thing. So having conference calls highlighting those 2 quote unquote benefits would not do a whole lot. It all boils down to what? Money and convenience. Having them delivered to your house, having a larger quantity delivered to you for a price that you could not get anyplace else. That's your only selling points in that situation.
Well, and it's interesting, the statement that you made. It's one of those things that in the network marketing industry, and especially if you get with the right company and compensation plan and all those types of things, it is possible to create $1 million business through your own efforts. But like you just said, and I hope you guys listening caught it, she was working 18 to 20 hours a day to maintain that $1 million lifestyle. So she was running it as if it's her own business and it relies solely on her. She's not leveraging the beauty of the network marketing industry, and that's duplication.
That's right.
You want to duplicate your efforts, have other people generating income, building their business, which pushes yours up as well, and take advantage of that residual income. So because she was focusing solely on her efforts and was not duplicating anything downline and building a true network marketing business, if she stopped working, the income stopped coming in too. So it was really no different than a job.
That's right.
Which unfortunately, a lot of traditional businesses, when you're a business owner of a franchise, say even a McDonald's one that's fairly successful, a lot of times when you're first starting out, you may quote unquote own that business, but what you've got is a glorified job, because if you're not there and you're not putting in the hours, the income's not coming in either.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Exactly. And boy, you're on a roll today. You're nailing it.
I must have eaten my Wheaties this morning. I don't know what's going on.
Well, I'm glad you're doing it. And but yeah, she's right, guys. That's exactly what's going on. And the other point I wanted to make is that that I hope you guys caught, and really we're getting off subject just a little tiny bit, but it is related. Is that the binary combined with the contacts at one product company? Those three things there scream money for the top people. So just to let you know, there's a little insight there. And it doesn't matter if it's contacts, golf club, okay, travel club, whatever. If it's a one product company with a binary, please listen to us and be cautious. Proceed with caution is all I can say. All right, Miss Marie. All right, well, let's get on to our main subject. While you're on the podcast, we are on podcast number 53, episode 53, whatever you want to call it, which is the title is The Duplication of Good and Evil. Which one are you promoting in your business? Because look, there's only two ways to go. You're either teaching people to do the right things, which induce duplication. And one of the main ingredients of inducing good duplication is simplicity. Effective simplicity. Let me rephrase that. If you're doing evil, you're doing the opposite of, guess what? Effective simplicity. Okay. You're using complex processes that are bogging people down with details. And that is not what you want to do. Like duplication is all about simplicity. That's the bottom line, Miss Marie. It's all about doing a few simple steps over and over. And I can honestly tell you that when the big business builders sit around and have discussions, one of the major topics, not like we sit around and talk business all the time, but one of the major subjects that you have is effective simplicity. Okay. Keeping the process down to the bare minimum, because when you do, that means a lot of people can do that. Okay. For instance, if Miss Marie and I go out and we build large businesses, we're going just out of the natural process of an organization, of the maturation process of an organization. You're going to have people, for whatever reason, become customers. They came in as business builders, but for whatever reason, and you're going to have hundreds, if not thousands of them do that, because they've been around the product long enough that they love it, or their spouse loves it, and they don't want to give it up. And so what do you have? You have people on auto ship, whether that's $30 or $50 or $75. It doesn't matter. There's all different levels. Okay. And these people came in as business builders because they had a dream, but their dream got derailed for whatever reason. Okay. But you always have to remember the numbers are going to do what they're going to do. When we talk about the 3 to 5%, I'm not getting off topic. This is part of this discussion. 3 to 5%, that is the top people. Okay. That doesn't mean that 97% people failed. What it's saying is that the 97% of the people include people that failed, include people that quit, include customers. Okay. And what I mean quit, they quit altogether. They're doing nothing. Okay. That doesn't mean that the 97% are failures. That just means that they make up the rest of the people that are not the top earners, which is your 3 to 5%ers. Okay. The one third is going to work its magic on a group of 1,000 or a group of 10,000. It does not matter. What does that mean? Once again, it means a third of your large organization is basically going to be made up of leaders of different levels, whether it's $500 a month. And Miss Marie knows if you're making $500 a month, you can almost classify yourself as a leader. Okay, why? If you're maintaining that $500 a month, you'd be amazed how many people in network marketing would love to make $500 a month. It doesn't sound like a lot, but to a lot of people, it is, because they understand, Miss Marie, the effort it took to even develop $500 a month on a consistent basis. Then you're going to have people making $900 a month, $1,800 a month, $3,200. It's different levels all the way up to $33,000 a month. Everybody, it takes everybody to make your organization go. The reason why I always told you, when we first started, I told you, I shook the hand of the people in my organization that ordered one product like they were the top earner. Why? Because it takes everybody. Just like in a business, Miss Marie, you want to know the importance of a janitor? Get rid of a janitor for a week. See what happens. Then ask one of your employees, without paying them, in other words, they're on the job, they're being paid an hourly wage already. Say, I need you to go in and clean the bathroom. See how long that lasts. They come back and say, I have never cleaned that bathroom again. That was horrible. Don't ever ask me, what happened to our janitor? Where are they? Well, they quit because we weren't paying them enough. You better get them back. You know what I'm saying? Who wants to go into a dirty, nasty, smelly, unhealthy bathroom? Correct? Now, does that not show you the value of someone that most people don't even give second thought to? Well, sure it does, right? Well, not to compare one product person with a janitor, and I have high esteem for janitor, believe me, I am not. What I'm saying is don't overlook that one product person like a janitor.
Yeah, that's so accurate. Some of the things that we take for granted are a little bit scary, right?
Yes, exactly. So the point is that you want to make sure that in your business that you appreciate everybody and understand how this business works. Okay, so that being said, the only way you can have multiple thousands of people out there in your organization is through duplication. We just talked about a scenario where you have bad, evil duplication. And you say, what are you talking about? Because that woman was a recruiter. She wasn't a business builder. She was an outstanding recruiter. And as Miss Marie said, she might as well own the company because the company, I won't say the company existed because of her, but she was a big part of it. Okay, if she was making $1 million a year, I can almost guarantee you she was creating 3 to 5, maybe even more per year for the company. Okay, even though $1 million a year sounds like a lot, guys, you got to realize the only way the company's, and this is a little golden nugget, and you're going to have to write this down, go back and listen to it, but this is how it works. Look, I don't care what company it is, whether it's retail or network marketing, whatever the case may be. Okay, companies, the only way they make profits is they hire people at wholesale and sell their talents and their time at retail because you're a product. Okay, your talents, your abilities. They don't tell you that, but behind closed doors, that's what they look at you. You're a pawn, you're a tool, you are used, and your time is used, your abilities and your talents are used, okay, to what? To buy you at wholesale and sell you retail. So if you're making $1 million a year, how much are you worth to that company? A whole lot more, okay? And you can go around bragging that you make $1 million a year, but if you really knew what you were worth, which most companies will never tell you, Ms. Marie, if you really knew what you were worth, then you would say, oh my gosh, I'm being cheated. $1 million is not a lot. That's why athletes have endorsements, because they really get paid what they're worth. And the reason why they get these big contracts, the reason why movie stars, because they figured out a long time ago what they're really worth. They're a brand. And kudos to their marketing people, which years ago, Miss Marie, Frank Sinatra, that name carries on. Elvis Presley, that name carries on. Why? Because it's a brand. to this day. And they had great marketing people, and they told Elvis, it's bigger than you. What is your name? What do you mean? And he finally got it. You know what I'm saying? The smart people market what? Themselves. Okay. Why? Because you're going to make a whole lot more than $1 million a year, right?
Absolutely. And that brand outlives the people, right?
That's right.
I remember the last number I heard, but Michael Jackson was making like multi-millions of dollars a year, and he's not even alive.
I know it. Yes, I heard that too. I know exactly what and same thing with Elvis. I mean, it's crazy how much their name continues to generate. I mean, look at the Elvis dolls; they still sell. You know, look at the albums and the bumper stickers. I mean, simple little things that you and I wouldn't even give thought to they're still popular. So especially if you go down south. I mean, Elvis stickers everywhere and dolls and cake.
The velvet blankets with his face on them. Those are my favorites.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, those things still sell. You're right. Good boy. So the point is, guys, she was an employee. She was making $1 million a year, but she was an employee. I mean, Miss Marie nailed it. And that is a great example of bad or evil duplication. And how did that start? Well, she didn't stick with the basics. She didn't teach the basics. She didn't hold people accountable. And she just said, I'll just do it myself. It's easier for me to do that than it is for me to teach them. And it also may be that she really didn't understand how the business worked. It's just that she came in, caught lightning in a bottle, meaning that she realized she had a great hidden talent because she was a hairdresser before that. And she sponsored a lot of great people. And here's the thing, Miss Marie, she was active. She did massive action. You can take nothing away from her because she has created an incredible lifestyle out of pure effort. And I give her great credit for that. I would not have the staying power to work 18, 20 hours a day. And so anyway, the point is that that's a prime example of and a living example of bad duplication. Okay.
Well, here's the other thing I want to point out in that instance, the difference between a business builder and a recruiter. In this case, the woman was a recruiter. She had a natural talent. She had the gifts and abilities to actually speak well. She had a charisma about her. And I'll be honest, I don't even know who Rob is referring to, but I know simply because of the results she attained that she had charisma. She was a gifted speaker. It came naturally to her. And it's not something that you can duplicate. It's not something that you can teach. It takes the average person far too long to develop those types of skills. I'm not saying it can't be done and you can't emulate the great recruiters, the great speakers, the onstage charisma that people have, but for it to come naturally and to have the success as quickly as she did, it wasn't duplicatable for her, even had she tried to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And just to add on to that a little bit, she was an eloquent speaker. She came from the country. She was a country girl, and like I said, did hair, and so she had that natural ability, like you said. But Miss Marie, what she was really great at, not only was she a great speaker, but she was a great. She knew how to highlight the benefits quickly for the person that she was talking to, and she knew how to close them quickly. And she would ask the tough questions. Are you ready? Or what scale, whatever it is she used as a closing. I was never around for that, but you get the point. Mm-hmm. But she was great at highlighting the benefits to the customer. What did she do? With her words, she painted a mental picture that the customer found great value in the benefits that she was highlighting, whether that was saving them money per year or per month, if that was quality that was equal to or greater than what they were already buying, the auto ship. In other words, she had a laundry list of benefits that the consumer, and that's what the person on the other line was, because they certainly wanted a business builder, saw great value in what she was saying, okay, and said, I want to do that. And so the bottom line is that that's not really duplicatable. Yes, her message is, that's for sure. Once again, it's a recruiting game. And you just don't want to be caught up in that. That's a nasty way of building a business. It's really something that nobody can sustain long term. And you definitely do not want to go down that path. That can ruin a marriage. That can ruin your own health, and that it was just not a healthy environment. And I often wonder how she maintained that. I know when I was around her, we were around each other for about 2 or 3 years, and I was amazed that she was able to do that, work that many hours every day, and be able to do that. That was just crazy. So the thing is that you have a situation where I knew right away it was not something that I could do or wanted to do, and it was not sustainable. So that is, once again, we beat that up good enough, but that is a prime example of really what not to do. Real life example in the duplication process, okay? And she made so many mistakes, and I could highlight them all, okay? But we're not going to do that. That's a long list. I'm going to tell you that right now because I know what she did for the most part. And it was a long list of things that she did not do. So there was no chance, Miss Marie, for the proper and correct duplication to even get started, okay? She thought she was inducing duplication, and she knew that she herself was not able to be duplicated, and she knew the hours was not able to be duplicated. But for some reason, she had convinced herself that the thing she was teaching people to do was quote unquote duplication. So you have to realize, guys, there's only one right way to induce duplication, and that is to make sure that you have a simple, easy to follow, non-complicated business building system with as few steps as possible. And of course, we're always going to prop up our 5 simple steps. Okay, there's only really 4, because number 5, we say it all the time, but for our new listeners and viewers, number 5 is telling you what to do those 4 over again. Okay, and it's an important step, and that's the reason why it's in there. And Miss Marie and I say it all the time. We abbreviate it with CCBBA, and that means nothing more than consistent, correct business building activity. And what is this simple, consistent, correct business building activity? It's the 4 steps. Okay, have a constant source of high quality leads, deliver the message to your prospects, do a 90-day mini blast, identify and work with your leaders. That's it. Okay, that is so easy to do. And
we had started talking about keeping it simple in your duplication and the importance of that. You know, you can highlight it. We've talked before about the telephone game. If you think about it, you put a line of 20 people together and you go to the person on the left side and you give them a simple message like hello, and you have them translate it down the line. Odds are really good that you're going to have hello come out the other end. Now, if you give that first person a message like the purple monkey sent the orange banana to the green grocer, I have no idea what's going to come out the other side.
I would say by the time they got to the 4th or 5th person, their eyes would light up like, what? I don't know if they didn't get to the end.
Yeah, you may not even have English come out the other side at that point, but
yeah,
that's what we're saying. You know, you have to keep that visual in mind, because when you're talking duplication in your organization, yes, it's absolutely from you to the people you bring into your business. You want to duplicate that music to the ears message using those 5 simple steps on down, but you want those people to do the same with the folks they're bringing in the business. And you want that ripple effect to continue on down through your organization without you having to be the one repeating that same message on down. That's why the simpleness is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, what we have done when we've gone over, please go back and look at our episodes. We talked about it. We highlighted the quick start, the correct start. We have episodes addressing each one of those individually because we did not want to jumble up those 2 together, because that would confuse the message and make it seem like that it would all run together and you guys wouldn't be able to separate the importance of each one of those. How would you use the subject matter? So that's usually why they have separate episodes, but you want to go back and look at those because that ties in directly what we're talking about today. And how is that? Well, because we have those checklists, we have those quick start documents so that you have the ability to do the same thing over and over and over and over. And when your people sign up, if you use the 5 simple steps business building system, guess what? they're going to get those same documents. They're going to get the same training videos that you are exposed to. Okay. And either you can train them or you can say, hey, go to this section into the members area. Here's the short videos, because if they are new, they're going to get exposed to those first and foremost. Okay. And they're not going to be able to view the other content because they got to do what? Master or review that training material first. Okay. So the good thing is if you're not able to do the training, guess what? If you're using our system, you have the system training them. What is it doing? It's doing exactly the same thing you would have done yourself. Why? Because there's a checklist. And what does that checklist do? It teaches them how to get off on a quick, correct start. Okay. Inducing the consistent, correct business building activity that's necessary to start the duplication process. That is necessary to create the speed and urgency that's necessary for your business to catch traction to go into exponential growth. Each one of those are tied together. There's no separating them. If you don't do duplication, you don't have speed and urgency. If you don't have duplication, you don't have traction. Okay. So the bottom line is that they all have to work together. And if you don't get your people off on the right start, whether it's through our system where they can log in and view that stuff, or by you teaching them, guess what? You're going to have bad duplication from day one. And you're going to lose those legs. You spend all that time recruiting these people. Okay. Put in that time and effort. You're excited about them. They have great potential in your mind. And you get them off on the wrong step because you don't want to do the checklist, or you think that we're pulling your leg on the importance of getting duplication started from day one, because they're going to mimic everything you do. And Miss Marie, you and I talked about this the other day. Look, guys, you can't say, do as I say, not as I do. If you're not doing it, your downline's going to find out about it. You may get away with it for a week or so, but they're going to find out. And they're going to get really upset when they find out that you're not doing what you promoted. Because then you become a boss and you're using a horsewhip to get them to stay in line. No, you've got to do this. Well, you're not doing it. Who in the world do you think you are telling me I got to do it? If you're not doing it, then I don't need to do it. I'm not going to add an extra step, or I'm not going to spend the time memorizing that or doing this or that when I don't have to. You're not doing it. And you sign me up. Look, it's not going to work. You better do every step. You better use a checklist. You better go use the documents in the what was it? Getting started quick document. Right?
Yeah, you're just trying to get too much information out too quickly there. We start tripping over our tongues.
Yes, exactly. My tongue was injured in the fall. Or was it my brain? It's probably both. I'm not sure. You have to ask the wife.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of both. Yeah, I'm sure it was. The bruises finally came to the surface today. She took pictures of big, nasty purple things. Anyway, the thing is that you have to give yourself a chance to have a successful business and a successful run and success, okay? And you're not going to do it if you don't have duplication. And imagine, Miss Marie, people working their tail end off their first month. They're proud that they have signed up 10 people. People think that's the end game, Miss Marie. They think it's over when they sign people up. Okay, it's your job now. You do what you got to do. And no, it just starts another phase. It's usually why we talk about the 4 phases of the business building process, okay? It starts another phase, okay? When you sign somebody up and you train them within the first 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is, however long it takes you to do it, it shouldn't. Guess what? That's not the end of the recruiting process. That's not the end of the business building process. Actually, Miss Marie, the business building process has just started, right? So what you do is at that time, you say, hey, Miss Marie, I'm here for you. I've trained you. I know that it's new. If you want me to help you make some 3-way calls in the beginning, I'll do that. And you better do the steps that you're telling Marie, which is what? Use the music to the ears message during a 3-way call, right? Or in person, whatever the case may be. In other words, Miss Marie's going to watch everything and she's going to mimic. And if you walk away, Miss Marie goes out on her own, she's going to say, well, what did Rob do? What did he say here? What did he do here? She's going to go back in her mind and try to mimic, because she saw you do it successfully. She saw the confidence that you did it with. She saw the steps that you took. And she says to herself, you know what? He's successful at this. He's signing people up. He's building the business. He's been doing this a long time. It's obvious that he took those steps because that's what works, even without me saying a word. Okay. And once again, if she has problems and we get on the phone, she says, Rob, I don't understand. I did this or I did. Guess what? I have a checklist, but at the same time, she knows in her mind, she saw me do it. So what does that say to her? That Rob is, in fact, using the system. Okay. It endorses and enforces the system. And that's what I want. But how do I do that? By doing it myself. No matter how many times I've done it, I do it myself. I use the forms, all the little things, all the simple things, Miss Marie, in that process has to be done, because if you don't, if you get to be a big shot and think you're too big to do the little things, you are setting yourself up for failure. You will. Because Miss Marie, some guys get lazy. They sponsor 60 people and they say, okay, you know what? I need to sponsor another 20 people to maximize this comp plan. And they get lazy because of success. And those last 20, they might think, I won't use those documents. I've used those thousands of times before. I'm not going to use those this time. I'm just going to buzz through this. And guess what? That last 20 is going to be the profit that they're going to have. That last 20 is going to be minuscule compared to what the first 60 is bringing in, because they cheated the system, right?
Well, and that's an example of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah.
If you've been working with a tool that's bringing you success and working for you, just keep going, keep riding that horse and keep going. And this is also another example of where, leading by example. I'm a big believer in that in a lot of different contexts. I think it's I think it's a great management leadership style to lead by example, but nowhere is it more important than it is here in network marketing, because you have to remember, each person that comes into your organization, they're essentially running their own business. You don't have authoritative rule over them. You can't leverage vacation time approval in order to get them to perform. The best thing you can do is lead by example, be consistent, function out of integrity, and make sure that you're doing all the right things so those get duplicated on down through your line, because people are going to do what they see you do. If there's a difference between what you're doing and what you're saying, they're going to stop trusting you. So you want to lead by example, be consistent, and have that duplicate on down through your line. Absolutely.
And a real life example of that, Miss Marie, is a heavy equipment operator. You know what? And a pilot. Here's the thing: a pilot can have 10,000 hours on a 737, and you know what? A good pilot continues to use the checklist. That's what a great pilot does. And when you find out that there's been a plane crash, and they say, well, this pilot had 15,000 hours of flying time, and we can't imagine what happened, and then they come back, which most investigators never want to say. Been around some of these in the Air Force. It was pilot error, because the implication of it, and so many things rush through people's mind, and well, was it because they were drunk, or they didn't get enough sleep? Were they doing drugs? Were they distracted? All these things that are obviously unfounded rush through your mind. Pilot error, well, that can mean so many things. And then more times than not, Miss Marie, it was because they got lazy or overconfident and didn't complete the checklist. And with a plane, you get one shot. That's it. If you don't do it right, guess what? It's going to bite you in the butt. And same thing with a heavy equipment operator. Another prime example, Miss Marie. There are safeguards that are in place to keep people safe around heavy equipment. Because once again, you get one shot. Electricity and power lines, you get what? One shot. Learning to swim. The water gives you one shot. Okay. And the point is, you may get away with it one time, but it'll hopefully wake you up and scare you to the point where you'll never try to beat the basics again in those scenarios. And there's a lot of people that have lost their lives or limbs or their sight, whatever, because they tried to do what, Miss Marie? Beat the basics. Now, those are some extreme examples of real life scenarios that were people that didn't stick with the basics. In other words, checklist, using a checklist because they got overconfident. They've been operating equipment for a long time or been swimming for a long time. And, you can't drink a beer while you're swimming. Okay. You can't swim across an 800 foot wide, fast flowing river. Okay. That just doesn't work that way. Okay. You're trying to beat the basics and you think you're capable of doing it. And that's exactly, now I don't really want to be that dramatic and that, and use those kind of examples, but I wanted to use things, Miss Marie, that people can relate to and understand that, hey, these people have to use checklists in order to stay safe. And that's what I'm referring to, okay, in these examples. And, but the thing is that these checklists ensure that your duplication has a chance to get started correctly. The bad thing is, Miss Marie, when Rob does the right checklist with his new people, it doesn't ensure that your new people are going to use the checklist. You know what I'm saying? Because they may not see the value in it, even though you told them that. And here's the thing, when they get back with you and say, Rob, I've talked to a bunch of people and, or I did this or I did that and nothing's happening. Well, what does Rob do? We have what, Miss Marie? A business performance checklist is basically what it is. And we pull out that checklist and we go through and what? We identify what the problem is, right? Through that checklist. And then we say, well, hey, we can't help you. If you're not doing this has got to be, well, I didn't think I was important. Well, now you found out otherwise, but you got to do it or I can't help you. I can't help you overcome the basics. Okay. I don't even try to overcome the basics. So, right.
Yeah, it's an evaluation to ensure that they're following the 5 simple steps. Essentially, that's really what it is. And what we have to realize is there is no shortcut to success. Mm-mm. And unfortunately, we tend to be lazy. We're looking for that shortcut, or we get distracted by that shiny object syndrome, that, secret sauce that all of a sudden is going to make your business, take off, which is outside the 5 simple steps. And it may sound good and it may get hyped up. And there may even be people out there saying, hey, it's worked for me. It can work for you too. And it takes you off on a tangent where you don't need to go, which essentially brings your business building to a halt while you go down this rabbit trail of the shiny object until you come back and realize, oh, you know what? It's just the basic fundamentals. It really is that simple. Now, remember, we're not saying it's easy. It requires time, effort, work. Anything of value does, but it's simple. It's not complicated because, again, you want that to be able to duplicate through your organization. Because especially in the network marketing model, that's how you build true wealth and success, is having it duplicate on down through your line and build that residual income. Yep,
exactly. And you know what? I want to say something because you have said a word here that jarred my memory in regards to this. Guys, if you're in a hurry or if something comes up while you're in the training, if I sign Miss Marie up and we're now in her initial training, and something comes up, I have to say, Miss Marie, I got to go. Let's revisit this training tomorrow. I've got an emergency that's popped up. I've got to go. Okay. And that's what you do. Okay. You do not leave her hanging. If you cannot complete the training process, you tell her so. And then the next day you're going to start over pretty much. Why? Because you want to see if she can repeat to you, well, this is what we did yesterday. This is what this meant. And I would say, okay, what does that mean? Do you remember? And she's got to prove to me that she grasped what we talked about before I move on. Otherwise, we're going to start from ground zero. Okay. And that's to benefit her. Okay. And also, if I sign her up and I schedule her for tomorrow, today's Thursday, and I schedule her for tomorrow, October 2nd, and Friday, October 2nd, say at 10 in the morning. And then at 8 in the morning, I realized, that something's come up. I'm not going to be able to devote the time to her, an hour. Usually, Miss Marie, in a training situation, I would devote 2 hours on my schedule. I was hoping it was only an hour, but I put on my schedule 2 hours, okay? Because sometimes people have questions and sometimes people don't grasp these things very well. And it's my responsibility to get them off on the right step, because what? Duplication is critical, right? And I don't want, and I'll tell them, look, normally at the end of the session, I don't say it during, because then it forces them, it makes them feel bad. And they're like, oh, I better hurry up. I don't understand it, but I need to hurry up. I don't want that. Okay. I'd rather invest the time to make sure they get off on the right step. Why? Because duplication is at stake here. Okay. But once they get it and they say, oh, okay, I got it. And we've been in it for an hour and 25 minutes. Okay. I will tell them, say, hey, look, you did great. This can be tough to understand. I totally get that. It's a new, different business model. You asked a lot of great questions. I'm very proud of the fact you did that. But I want you to know that most of these don't take an hour and 25 minutes. I don't want you to think that this is a standard. Now, I don't want you feeling bad. That's not what I'm saying here. So please don't feel that way. You asked really good questions, and I'm very impressed by that. But not everybody's going to answer those questions, okay? And you're going to run into some people who are not going to tell you they've been in network marketing before, okay, for whatever reason, and they're going to grasp this very quickly. You do not want to drag this out. This cannot be a social call, okay? So I don't want you to think an hour and 25 minutes is normal. Guys, that's how I close that out. Why? Because I don't want them to it slows down the business. You want the training to be conducted in an hour if possible. Okay. So to revisit the point I was making that led up to that point is that if I scheduled hers for 10 o'clock and 8 o'clock on Friday, I realized, oh, something's come up. I'm not going to be able to spend an hour or two with Miss Marie. I'm going to contact her immediately, text her, email her. I'm going to do all of that. I'm going to call, text, and email, because it's imperative that she sees I made an honest effort to get a hold of her and say, hey, we got to reschedule. I have something personal that came up. I am not going to be able to devote the time to get you trained properly. Can we do this later today? Can we do this tomorrow? Whatever the case may be. Now she's in charge, because her schedule is totally different than mine. So, Ms. Marie, I wanted to bring that up because that is part of the duplication process and how to handle that. Because if you can't take the time to train them right, duplication is not going to happen, Ms. Marie. You're going to be in a rushed environment. That's not good.
Yep, exactly. And that's that training aspect. That's a more advanced topic. We're going to have more information about that available in our members area when we release that. So I'm excited because it's coming.
Yes. And it has slowed down. I've been promising Miss Marie a document the last 2 days. You ought to see me. I was you got your invitation to this show, what, about 3 in the morning?
I think it came through about 1:30. Well, my time.
Okay. So it was early. So I went to bed at 3:30 because I knew the boys were coming today. I thought, boy, I need to get some sleep because his wife needed me. I need to be able to focus. Anyway, the point is that it's hard. I'm pecking along. I'm trying to type as fast as I can. I should have had that document done 2 days ago. You
don't understand how much impact it has when you totally lose the use of one hand.
One hand. Thank God I'm right-handed so that I can use it. Oh my gosh. I took my own shower today. I was so impressed. The wife, she's like, I'll help you. I said, I know you will. It's not the point. I need to know I can do it myself. But more importantly, do it safely. The people that lived here before had handrails installed. Somebody was obviously having an issue. And we've never taken them down. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I hardly ever notice it. But thank God they're there. I feel like an old person, but I could not afford to fall. And I was very ginger in my shower, to say the least. And even when I got out, I made sure my feet were under me because, man, I cannot even imagine the pain I would feel if I fell. So it was a slow process, just like the typing. That's the reason I bring it up.
Well, and here's the thing, and I'm gonna bring that in and kind of equate it to what we're talking about here today when we talk about duplication. Because when you're getting started in your business, you have to be a little bit slow and deliberate about what you're doing to make sure you're getting your feet under you in a proper manner and getting off to the right start, because how you do things is going to duplicate. So you're always, accuracy is always more important than speed. And with experience, the speed will come. So we want to make sure we're reiterating the point here that, you know, you want to focus on your consistent, correct business building activities. We talk about speed and urgency and that type of thing, but starting out, you may not be as quick as you want. And it's not the speed that's important. It's doing it right, leading by example, setting the example, starting that good duplication that's going to happen. Because the flip side of it is, if you're doing things wrong, it's also going to duplicate, but it's going to be bad. And it's not going to build your business. You're not going to have the success. So that's where we really wanted to focus our show today, is making sure you're getting off to the right start. And yes, we want you to get off to a quick start, because nothing better than getting paid and proving that the system works, the business works, all that good stuff, which we've covered in other episodes. But you want to make sure you're setting the example, and the duplication is the good duplication, because that's what's going to build your success.
That's right. And here's our quick start package that outlines. I mean, this is the document that it's really the step-by-step guide. If you look, it says your guide to MLM success. Okay, why do I show that? Because that is one of the things you get. You want to use our business building system because we get you off on the right step. We give you a realistic chance of getting the correct duplication process started. And then it all can be right here. Here's your guide. And it includes the whole quick start package, includes the documents, the checklist. Okay. And it tells you exactly what to do and when to do it. Okay. And like she said, take your time, go through it methodically when you're signing your people up. And I'm telling you, when you walk away, Miss Marie, after you're using these things on your first 2 or 3 people, you have a big smile on your face, because you know, look, everybody's got common sense. And a lot of the stuff that we teach, Miss Marie, is self-evident. You and I don't need to hype it up. We don't need to promote it all the time. It's what? The basics. And we always say the truth is the same, no matter what year it is, no matter what day it is, no matter what hour it is. Okay, the truth is always the same. And that should excite you guys. The point is, you're going to have us talking about the same thing over and over. Why? Because the truth is how this business works. And that's what we teach, is how this business works. Okay, and it's these information, the truth is self-evident. When you look at these documents right here, and you look at the, when you read that document, you look at the forms and all that, when you read them, you say, oh, this is obvious. I mean, yes, you got to do that. I can see that. Yes, I've seen Rob do that. I've seen Rob and Marie talk about that. I've seen Miss Marie do that in person. Yes, I can understand. Those are self-evident. You don't need us harping on them all the time. You don't need somebody over your shoulder going, that's true, that's true. Because once you read it, you say, yes, I can see where this is part of the process. Talking to people, that's self-evident. Okay. Doing a 90-day mini blast, that's self-evident. Because 90 days are going to go by in this business, whether you do a mini blast or not. Okay. It's called a mini blast because you need to create speed and urgency. Okay. And it takes speed and urgency to work towards your 90-day goals, and your 90-day goals stretch you and forces you to what? Go fast. Okay. Miss Marie, duplication happens quickly because you got it off on the right step, and you have a realistic chance, guys, to achieve those 90-day goals, those goals that are stretching your abilities and your talents and your commitment. Okay. You don't want to make them unattainable. You want to make them where they're going to challenge you and force you to speed up your process. And guess what? These documents and this quick start guide will help you as you speed through. They'll help you to do what she just said, to ensure that good duplication has a chance not only to take hold, but to magnify. And Miss Marie, that's how you get 350 people. That's how you get 580 people in your business in your first 90 days, is because duplication was started correctly. And a lot more people grasped it than didn't, right?
Yep, absolutely. And while you can go through the training and the documentation and intellectually recognize that, hey, this is simple. Yes, this absolutely makes sense. It can make all the sense in the world, but you know what? You still have to go do it. You have to implement it. You have to make it happen. Take action.
Yep, exactly. And Miss Marie, part of the whole process, without dragging on, if you're saying, well, I followed the checklist and I did all the right things and it's still not working, you know what that tells us, Miss Marie, right off the bat? Are you using the scale of ambition? Well, I read about it and don't really understand it, but so no. Oh, okay. Well, you're talking to the wrong people.
Or I read about it and I thought I could skip it.
Yeah. And guess what? It's part of the duplication process. And so if you're not using it, because so many people are sponsoring people, Miss Marie, not getting results, what does that tell you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing a quick start. I'm doing a checklist. I get them all off. I'm so proud of the fact they do that. Well, that automatically, if they're telling the truth, that automatically tells me where the problem is. Scale of ambition, who are you talking to? All right. So you know what, guys, that's experience that's speaking there, because Miss Marie and I would know right off the bat. But guess what? The reason I tell you that is, Miss Marie, if you're counseling with us, we're still going to use the checklist and we're going to go down it methodically. But in our mind, the reason I verbalize that is because in my mind, I know pretty much where the problem is. Okay. Now, there may be more than one problem. In other words, you're not doing something else in addition to the scale of ambition. But if you're using our quick start guide and you're doing the document and you're doing the checklist and you're so proud of yourself, you got the duplication process started correctly and you're new people, and all of a sudden your people are not doing anything, they're disappearing, or they're doing a little bit here and there, that may not be that duplication is not happening. It means that you're not sponsoring the right type of people who will take responsibility to do what? Go after their goals and success. And guess what, Miss Marie? Most people that are successful realize that there's guidelines and steps to success. And so if somebody tells them, hey, you got to do the following, what are they going to do?
Yep.
They're going to do the steps.
Take advantage of the information and the training that's available to you.
That's right. There it is. So successful people are not born, guys. Successful people are made. And they're Miss Marie, I had somebody tell me one time, and it's so true. Successful people are some of the greatest pupils you'll ever have, because they're willing to listen and take action. They're willing to submit themselves to somebody that knows more than they do. So that's the mindset. So Miss Maria, let's summarize this. Let's bring it together and close this thing out, because we've been on here long enough. And I think we've done some really good examples here to get people to understand that there's a good and bad, there's a good and evil duplication process. The only way to ensure that you're going to have a chance in this business is to have good duplication. And it's got to start with you. And it's got to start with the very first steps. And you've got to use the tools correctly and in sequence. You're human. Every once in a while, you're going to make a mistake. If I sponsor Miss Marie, she said, Rob, I noticed you didn't cover number 2. I can say, guess what? You're right. I am sorry. I made a boo-boo. That's totally my fault. Thank you. So let's back up and cover that. Okay, she'll get it. She'll say, okay, all right, he made a boo-boo. He admitted he did, but that's part of the process. Number 2 is supposed to be part of that process. Guys, if you make a mistake, that's okay. Okay. And if Miss Marie is too embarrassed to bring it up and you realize it, you email her, you text her and say, hey, I am so sorry. I just realized I missed number 2. That is critical. We cannot miss that step. Okay. Just be honest with people and communicate. The point is, the only way you can ensure that good duplication takes place is by doing the right things over and over. Consistent, correct business building activity includes what we're talking about today. Okay. Now, the bad side is if you think you've gotten to be too big for your britches, in other words, you're big shot now, you've reached it, and you think you can cut corners. Well, guess what? Network marketing numbers and the process does not care whether you're a big shot or not. If you don't do the basics, if you don't do the right things, you're going to get bad results. Bad duplication is going to happen. All right. Bad duplication is going to happen with you if you're not good and taking direction. If you're not good at following directions, if you have an ego, Okay, because you're already successful in another industry and you think I'm super Rob. I can do whatever. I've never failed in my life. Well, guess what? I've seen this business model humble a lot of people. Miss Marie, you cannot cheat. That's the bottom line. If I'm going to clarify it, you cannot cheat the quick start system. And guys, if you're not being taught what the right steps are, you have no chance at creating the right duplication. You will do some, Miss Marie. Some people will catch traction, but it'll start falling apart. Why? Because bad duplication's taking place. And you've seen it, have you not? Have you seen how many people fail as you look back over your career and you shake your head saying, man, I look back now and I can see that the wrong things are being taught to those people.
Yep. And I've experienced the wrong things being taught to me, and I tried to duplicate what I'd been taught, but not the right things, and ended up, failing.
Not getting results. Well, I mean, you know what? Here, you got teaser results, didn't you?
Well, a little bit, yes.
Yeah. Yep. And then you can't figure out why your people aren't doing anything. You're like, come on, guys, come on. So anyway, the point is, as we summarize, as we say, there's good and there's bad. You make a choice on which one you want to happen in your business. The bad, if you cut corners, you're going to get bad. That's the bottom line. If you follow the steps, you give the good duplication a great chance, not just a chance, a great chance to happen. Okay. And you say, why do you say that? Guys, as we close, realize you got to talk to the right people on the scale of ambition. You got to teach them the correct way and follow the steps, getting them started in the training process. Okay. That's all you can do. That's all you can teach them. All right. You got to sponsor the right kind of people. And if you're not using the music to the ears message, you're not attracting the right type of people. If you don't know the characteristics of top performers in regardless of industry, you're not talking to the right type of people. I don't care if you're sponsoring a lot of people, if they're 5 and below, the chances those people following direction or doing anything at all, taking any kind of action, good or bad, is going to be slim. You're not going to get results. Okay. Duplication starts with you. Starts with you using the scale of ambition, the threshold of profitability, the music to the ear message, and the 5 simple steps, right, Miss Marie?
Yep, that summarizes it perfectly. And again, you are not going to find this information anywhere else.
No, you are not.
Topics that other network marketing leaders aren't necessarily going to be talking about and sharing with you, but we are. And why? Because we want you to be successful. We're passionate about this industry. We love what it can do for you in terms of income, lifestyle, time freedom. And we want you to be able to attain that and then enjoy it as well. So if you like what you're hearing, you understand the points we're making, give us a thumbs up. You can find us on all of the social media platforms by searching hashtag the MLM Solution. That's hashtag the MLM Solution. And please like, comment, share our material with our fellow network marketers, especially the folks in your organization, because again, it's about duplication, getting the right information into their hands so they can grow their business, which in turn grows yours. And of course, be sure to visit us online. Our website is themlmsolution.net, themlmsolution.net. We have a ton of information out there. Rob had brought up those quick start documents earlier. That and much more is available out there. So be sure to check that out. And then, of course, along with our social media platforms, also find us on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. And if you register for those notifications, click on that little bell. You'll know when we're going live and have some new information available to share with you and your downline.
That's right. Way to go, Miss Marie. You did awesome, as always. If you notice, we have the charcoal labels, which means for some reason we're in a different they must have a different back office. In other words, while they're working on one, they have another one up because almost all of our stuff is gone. So I'm looking around, you see me looking, I'm like, where is it? Oh man, it's always a surprise. It was not like that this morning. So with that being said, tomorrow's Freelance Friday, Miss Marie. Freelance Friday, guys.
Oh, it's my favorite.
Yeah, and evidently it's everybody else's too. Miss Marie, you may, based on what happens, be on your own tomorrow. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to go to the doctor this afternoon because this hand is really starting to bother me and I need to go and see what's going on. So I will say we'll see you guys 11 a.m. with trepidation. How's that?
All right. Well, you get that taken care of, and hopefully you'll be joining us tomorrow morning because it's a whole lot more fun when you're here.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. And right back at you. All right, guys. We'll talk to you talk to you tomorrow 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care. God bless. We'll see y'all later.
Thank you for listening to the MLM Solution Podcast. For more info, visit our website, themlmsolution.net. Please follow us on the following platforms: Facebook, YouTube, etc. And share this podcast with our fellow network marketers around the world by hitting the share button on our various platforms.